We have promised full alignment on a whole range of things because of the Irish border issue.
Yeah.
The Chancellor of the Exchequer has said that under virtually all circumstances...
Well, it's a small range of things, it's not a whole range of things.
Well, it's quite a big range of things.
Yeah.
The Chancellor of the Exchequer said that under all circumstances we will pay the money to the EU. Can I ask you whether this agreement this week is actually real?
No, it is conditional on an outcome. No, I'm afraid that wasn't quite right. I mean, it is conditional. It's conditional on getting an implementation period and conditional on a trade outcome.
Let me put this very bluntly.
Before I finish that, I left something out there. I said the trade outcome, but also the other elements of the treaty will strike with them, which will be security, foreign affairs, counter-terrorism.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the unhappy possibility, but it's a possibility that we get onto the trade side of the negotiations, phase 2, and the EU really take us to pieces on that. They don't give us what we want. They're not at all helpful when it comes to the city or commerce generally, and they really have us over a barrel, and we hate it. And we say we're not having any of that. In those circumstances, are we committed to the regulatory convergence? Are we committed to paying the money?
Well, no deal is no deal. Now, wait a minute, let me finish. You want the answer.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'll be coming back to me later saying, well, you only said this, didn't say the second half. So, number one, no deal means that we won't be paying the money. Some of these areas...
OK, the Chancellor is wrong about that.
It's been made clear by number 10 already, so that's not actually new. The second element about this is the other areas. Now, look, one of the things we have had as a major objective, a major negotiating objective for the British government, and we don't normally lay our red lines out in public, that's one of the things I've always said, is we want to protect the peace process, and we also want to protect Ireland from the impact of Brexit for them. So we were, this was a statement of intent more than anything else. It was much more a statement of intent than it was a legally enforceable thing.
Here is the crucial question. That promise on full alignment that we have made, not just to the EU, but also in specific terms to the Irish government, to Dublin. If we don't get a deal, does that promise get torn up?
Well, I think if we don't get a deal, we're going to have to find a way of making sure we keep the frictionless border, as it were, an invisible border, in Northern Ireland. We do it at the moment. Understand something. At the moment, there are different tax and levy regimes and excise regimes north and south of the border. We manage that without having border posts allotted along the 300 rows there. And we'll find a way of doing that too.
The Taoiseach thinks that he has got that full alignment in his back pocket. That is an absolutely firm promise from Theresa May and yourself and the British government. You may be watching this. Can you look in the camera and say that we absolutely commit ourselves to that?
What we say is we commit ourselves to maintaining a frictionless, invisible border. That's what we undertake.
Even with no deal.
Even with no deal, even with a WTO deal, we'll find.
How? Because that is a border between the EU and us.
I strongly recommend reading our paper that we published. So we published 14 papers this year, this summer.
Just tell people, is it a technical solution?
Well, there'll be technical solutions. There'll be solutions using things like trusted traders. So big companies would actually cross the border without any check, but they'd notify, and there'd be audits of them. There'll be issues like electronic pre-notification. There'll be all sorts of things, and also large allowances for small companies. There are a whole series of possibilities that we can do, which nobody's engaged on yet. We need to engage for the next stage to get that right.